goes to show that I'm making fun of him every single time I say it. So David will now be called DP here on the Frank Fernandez Show. So go ahead to refer him as DP. If you go ahead and refer to him as DP when we're outside of the show time, and we're on our own time, I'll fill you in what DP means. But I'm not going to put him on blast like that with all our listeners. So, DP, what's up, bro? How you doing?
What's going on?
See, I got something else to mess with you now about. And you're already bright red, so I know that's already getting to you right from the spot.
What a way to start the new day.
Interesting, right?
I mean, new time slot, new day. We're not allowed to say hump day anymore.
We can't say hump day, but you can do like hump day eve or something like that.
No, it's just not right.
Doesn't fit no more, doesn't it?
No. I'm very depressed about that, actually.
Well, get over it. Drink some yoo and get over it. But it's gonna be the same exact show. We're gonna talk Canes like we always do. We're gonna get into some NFL. We're gonna talk baseball. Those are pretty much the topics. If you want to go ahead and join in on the show, you can go ahead and call. The phone lines are open, or you can go ahead hit us up on Twitter at FrankTheTank305 or hashtag the Asylum. So how about we start off the show with something that we haven't talked about a lot on this show at all. And then we can talk about the Miami Dolphins. And I'm going to be the stand-up guy and be like, they whooped the crap out of my Chicago Bears. A huge Bears fan. Listen, I was excited, man. This was going to be the first game that I got to watch in my new home. And it was going to be a lot of fun. And I was going to have a blast. And I was going to party up another Chicago Bears victory, especially over the Dolphins. But it didn't happen that way. It was all Dolphins right from the very beginning, and it was absolutely out of hand. Look, I have a problem with this. When I want the Dolphins to win, when I want the Dolphins to win, I'm trying to look for the button at the same time. Yeah, Ivan's not here today, so I don't have anybody covered. There you go. When I want the Dolphins to win, they suck the biggest. Fingers. When I want them to lose, they have the biggest. Fingers. Is it me or no?
No, they're just one of those teams that seems to lose the games that they're supposed to win, and then they seem to win games that they're not supposed to win.
It's absolutely out of hand, bro. It's absolutely crazy. If Tannehill plays like that every single game, the Dolphins will go to the playoffs. Tannehill's played out of his mind, since supposedly there was smoke being blown up his ass by Philbin right before the London trip. What has it been? 12 quarters, so 11 out of the 12 quarters he's played good?
Well, I mean, I think Joe Philbin actually finally put him in check, starting to say that, Tannehill's job wasn't certain. I think that kind of put a reality check into Mr. I'm doing commercials, Tannehill, into reality. Is like, hey, I can lose my job? I thought I was, baby Jesus over here.
But is it more on the coaching or is it more on Tannehill? Because we're starting to see Tannehill run the ball a lot more. I mean, he had a 40-yard run against Green Bay, and then he had a 30-yard run against Chicago. That's 70 yards in the last two games for Ryan Tannehill just on those two plays alone.
No, it's definitely the coaching, because I don't see Tannehill being able to make some of these decisions that he is making, because you still see a little bit of Tannehill in him. He's still making bad throws, bad choices here and there. But at the same time, I think the coaching staff has either opened the playbook for him, or they actually decided to say, you have a chance to make your own call here.
Well, they are opening the playbook for him, because now they're running this read option, and now the talk is, are the coaches putting Tannehill in harm's way? Because you run that read option, that means the ball's in the quarterback's hands a lot more, and you're putting him in a risk that he can get hit hard and he can possibly be injured if you hit him the wrong way. So do you want to put your... Remember, that's what the Gators run pretty much now with Driscoll, and they used to run back with Tebow. Ryan Tannehill's not the size that Tim Tebow was, and it's a gimmick. It's a gimmick. You have to know how to play things other than that, because at the end of the day, like everything else, Wildcat, it worked for a couple games, and then that's it. It didn't work anymore.
Yeah,
because
everybody
people
saw what
caught
you're
on
doing.
to it.
Yeah. No, I think with allowing him opening the playbook, I don't think they're really using a read option. I think that's just what's ending up happening. I think Tannehill's trying to put the ball more, or the game actually more, on his shoulders. Like, hey, I have to win this because sometimes my arm doesn't work for me. So I think he's actually making the mental choice of doing a lot of these run options. I think it's him. I don't know if it's the coaching. I mean, why would you really put your quarterback in harm's way like that? Because he's not a running quarterback. He's no RG3, and he's no Michael Vick, that's for sure.
954-990-0036. Shout out to all the Canes fans that's locked in and loaded and listening to the Frank Fernandez Show here on SoFloRadio.com. You gotta kind of be worried about it a little bit though, David. Like they are running a DP, they are running that read option, and they're running it more, so they're starting to get more comfortable with it. It was all Dolphins though, like from offense even to defense. Like the Dolphins have probably the best skill players in football. They have a hell of a dual threat running back in Matt Forte. Okay, the dude has the most receptions in football this year alone. He's comes out of the backfield with great hands, and he can run the ball.
You said Dolphins.
For the Bears. Sorry, for the Bears. Thank you. And then you have Brandon Marshall. That's huge, which looked like it was going to be a huge height advantage or disadvantage for the Dolphins with Cortland Finnegan and with Brent Grimes out there. And then on the other side, you have Alshon Jeffrey. And then as a tight end, you have Marcellus Bennett. Those are huge towers especially running down the middle of the field. That's why those are like the dream for anybody. And it seems like McCown was better with these skill players than what Jay Cutler is. Jay Cutler seems like he's like one of these guys that is way overpaid, and it's starting to come true.
Yeah, but at the same time, look what McCown did when he left.
Well, he hasn't done anything, but look at the weapons he has.
He did not have the weapons.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry, Jay Cutler is kind of made by Brandon Marshall in that tandem of wide receivers. I mean, you really can't ask for a better pair. Roddy White, Julio.
Bro.
You really can't ask for really a better tandem.
No.
You really can't. So at the same time, Jay Cutler throws the ball 40 times a game.
And the thing with Cortland Finnegan, he looked slow against Green Bay. Okay, he looked old. It looked like that was it. Like, all right, thanks for giving us all you had. Have a nice day.
Aaron Rodgers
Absolutely shuts down Brandon Marshall. Like, talks smack to him at the same time. Like, Brandon Marshall for a little while there looked like he finally had it figured out, especially after the whole stabbing thing that happened. And after he left Miami, it looked like he finally had it figured out. Brandon Marshall now has looked like he's gone back to the days that when he was in Miami, just crying, and back when he was at Denver, when he was punting the ball and throwing the ball further, so then the other people had to go chase the ball and the coaches had to go chase the balls. It seems like he's gone back to that. Brandon Marshall's the kind of person that he's great to have if you're in first place. Great to have if you're throwing him the ball. Great to have if you're being like if he's the center of all the attention. But then it's the worst person in the locker room to have if you're not doing very good.
If you lose, that's not somebody you want in your locker room because then he goes crazy.
And there seems to be this rift there in between both Jay Cutler and Brandon Marshall again. Remember, they've had issues before when they were over in Denver. Mm-hmm. So this might be an issue there. But going back to Cortland Finnegan, okay? He looked like he got under Brandon Marshall's skin. Like, it looked like he just straight up was just talking that Cortland Finnegan old school smack when he was in the Tennessee Titans, and he was just saying whatever he wanted to say, and he was just lighting Brandon Marshall up. Who knows what he was saying to Brandon Marshall, okay?
A lot of things.
I'm surprised Brandon Marshall didn't lose it.
Like Andre.
And Andre was a nice guy.
Mr. Nice Guy.
But do you remember what Andre did to Cortland Finnegan? Woo! He beat the F out of him. Turned him into Cortland Finnegan.
Yeah, but Cortland Finnegan's one of those players, you hate to play against him, but you're kind of glad he's on your team because you don't have to deal with him at the same time. Because his talking is what gets underneath our wide receiver's skins. And that's what really gets to him. It's not really his gameplay because he's dirty.
Yeah, he's dirty. But you know what? Whatever he gets away with, because he's dirty, but he's not one of these type of players that you always hear that he's being fined for this or fined for that.
Yeah, I mean, he's that quiet dirty, He'll put an extra hand on you after the 5 yards. He'll kind of, he does a couple things here and there, but his size actually allows him to get away with most of those things because the wide receivers are towering over him.
Yeah, and they got vert. That's the thing. And Brent Grimes, I went to one of the practices last year, and he looks like the smallest guy. You're like, wow, bro, where'd they pick this guy up from? In fact, I said it. Where did they get this guy from? And then all of a sudden he turns around and I read the Grimes on the back of his jersey. And it was like, wow, okay, so this is this dude. Yo, this dude can jump, man. Like, he's short.
No, he's good.
And
I like him.
He's good. He's a hell of a great
he's
a great defender.
He's quality. I like him. He plays with the aggressiveness that you want to see in a cornerback, but at the same time, he's not the Cortland Finnegan. He's not sitting there talking all that smack. I'm pretty sure he is talking a little bit here and there, but He hasn't made a name for it yet.
Well, you know what he says about Aaron Rodgers, right? He says that Aaron Rodgers to him is Aaron Rodgers is the most respected quarterback to him. You know why? Because he actually throws the ball his way. Nobody wants to throw the ball his way because
He's good.
after you do it the first couple times, you kind of learn your lessons and you're like, the hell with that, I ain't throwing him the ball.
I mean, but Aaron Rodgers, man, it's like, us losing, like as the Dolphins, speaking as a Dolphin fan.
You sounded like John
I
Gruden.
guess.
Aaron Rodgers, man.
Sorry.
Go on.
I hate you.
I know.
But
go on.
anyways, no, losing to Green Bay the way we did, I was actually still impressed because we gave Aaron Rodgers a hell of a fight, man. He had to work to earn all those things. But, I mean, at the same time, we gave him too much time on the clock.
Well, he got us with the Marino fake spike.
And he got us with our own play. How ironic is that?
Yeah,
that's
it's one of those plays that works like one every decade or something like that.
No, exactly.
Like if you use it too many times, people aren't gonna fall for it. But when was the last time that was used? I think Brett Favre tried to do it one time as well, or maybe it was Marino the last time they used it.
I can't even remember somebody who did it.
Well, other than Marino.
Well, no, Stafford did it last year or 2 years ago, I believe. He walked up to the line, looked for a fake spike, and then threw it over like the Tim Tebow a little basketball.
Oh, that little jump.
Yeah, I want to say that happened last year.
Oh my god. Anyway, so let's move on.
We brought up Tebow.
Yeah. So let's move on. I almost cursed. You almost got me to curse. Stop it. So anyway, so let's go on. Rams, bro. Seattle goes down for the second straight week, and this is what I was going to talk about. The Rams, like they pull off this fourth and 5 fake punt against Seattle from their own 30-yard line, and everybody's saying like how genius of a play this was, but. Because it worked. Because if it wouldn't have worked, we would have said, "Oh, how stupid can you be?" But then again, it's not about how stupid they would be. No, the Rams were winning.
Well, I mean, they had to score at least one more time or keep the ball out of their possession or something.
Right, but with that amount of time, do you honestly think that the Rams were going to be able to stop Russell Wilson? Because he was kind of on a groove at that time.
He was totally in a groove.
And the Rams, what do they have to lose? They're 1-4, 1-5. What do they have to lose?
But at the same time, they're not really. Their record kind of says what they are. It is true, but at the same time, they're a young, quality team that has they're just getting started. So you have to look at them as amazing because Bradford just went out yet again, somebody that they build their whole game plan around. So having Austin Davis come in and start wailing, it's kind of showing their talent.
It's pretty funny that they were saying that the security guards, he was saying that security guards actually asked him for ID the other day walking into the stadium because nobody knows what this kid looks like. I mean, he likes the fact that nobody recognizes him because then he can live his normal everyday life.
That's awesome.
But to be asked for ID at your own facility before walking into a game, it's got to be like, come on, man, I'm the starting quarterback.
I'm the starter.
Cut me some slack here, man.
Don't you watch TV?
Well, I mean, I guess they're not watching the games if they're watching the front gate,
no, I
right?
mean, if they're working, they can't really watch the games. But at the same time, it's like, do you have the internet? Do you have anything?
I mean, you would think that they work for the team, that they'd be fans, so they'd go home and actually look up the stats of whatever happens, right? But that's the thing with football, though. That's the one thing, football players, their faces aren't as recognized because
of the helmet.
The helmet's always on. And that's something Martin Brenton always said when he was a Cane. When he used to score touchdowns, he used to take his helmet off because he wanted girls to see his face. So he knew what he looked like. So they knew what he looked like. Because football players always got the helmet on. And to be honest with you, there's a lot of football players that I know their names and I know what they look like because of their eyes. But as soon as they take the helmet off and they put everyday clothes on, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
You would never know.
954-990-0036. I already got him on hold. When we come back, we're going to be talking Canes football with Cutler Ridge Laz. You're listening to The Asylum, the Frank Fernandez Show on SoFloRadio.com.
Top 1926 Hollywood Boulevard. You're listening to SoFloRadio.com.
By the Glass.
By the Glass is a show about beverage culture.
Brad Hubbard.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the dots on how everything works together. It's really all about how we enjoy things, how we enjoy life, and how beverages play a big part in that. I'm going to bring in people that are going to display their aspect of the culture. I'm going to bring in people that are going to show you different products. We're going to look at places where people go to consume these beverages and how they all interact. Things are built around the actual beverage itself.
By the Glass. Thursdays from 6 to 7. Only on SoFloRadio.com.
The Owen Frank Noodle Show.
So how do people actually do it, males, in in the region.
Nah, see, I don't.
Dude, that's if you say you had that much pain on your arm and legs, that's unacceptable. At that point, something's going on.
I don't go to that level though. I trim with a little machine, bro. You know
little buzzer?
Little buzzer. Buzz down there, a little manscape. And we're good to go. Hey, bro, you got a manscape nowadays. No chick wants to go down there and, you know what I'm saying, feel hairs.
No, that's terrible.
That's
and
terrible.
neither do we, so you got, it goes both ways, right?
It goes both ways, brother. You know what I'm saying? Some chicks go down there, you got hair, and they're like, whoa, wait, let me come back up.
Hold on, cowboy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The Owen Frank Noodle Show, Tuesday evenings from 6 to 8 p.m. only on SoFloRadio.com.
See? It's easier than ever to listen to SoFlo. On the air and everywhere. On any computer, any mobile device, iPhone, iTouch, and anywhere you are, just hit SoFloRadio.com. Tell your friends about South Florida's radio network, SoFloRadio.com.
Now, back to the Frank Fernandez Show.
Oh, have you not heard? It was my understanding that everyone had heard.
Heard what?
Brian, don't! Oh, well, a bird, bird, bird. A bird, a word, a well, a bird, bird, bird. A bird, a word, a well, a bird, bird, bird. A bird, a word, a well, a bird, bird, bird. A bird, a word.
On SoFloRadio.com.
Papa uma mau mau, 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 papa uma mau mau.
Frank Fernandez Show live here on SoFloRadio.com. New time, new day. Feels good. So far, Tuesday's rolling right along. It's going to be cool. Stay tuned after the show. You're going to get another 2 hours of sports talk from a different perspective of sports. Owen Frank Noodle Show. It's very entertaining. I'll be sitting in as well. I produce the show, so I'll be sitting in as well. A very entertaining show, but I'm going to bring on somebody on the line right now because this is the time to talk Hurricane football. Let's lower this a little bit. I'm running the board now, so I'm multifunctioning again. You know how I do it over here. So 954-990-0036. So as I was saying, I have somebody on hold here that we're going to talk Hurricanes football. He is known as Cutler Ridge Lass. He's a very good friend of mine, and I want to bring him on for I already told him what it was about, but I want to bring him on for something that I heard that was kind of troubling to me. But let's go ahead and welcome him on first. Laz, man, welcome to the show.
What's up, Frankie? What's up, Canes fam? How y'all doing this afternoon?
Bro, we're doing great, man. New time, new day. It feels good to be out here on a Tuesday.
Yeah, new time, new day, but same quality, same great talk, same great Frankie, man. I appreciate you, brother.
For sure, man. Well, for one thing, the thing that I told you that I wanted to mainly call you about and I wanted you to talk about on the show was I saw a report that there was actually a donation going on to fly a banner over Lane Stadium in Blacksburg on Thursday night when the Canes play Virginia Tech on the ESPN Thursday night game. But let's go backwards for a second. A banner was also flown at the Cincinnati game. It was donated by fans as well in a certain section. I'm not going to give them the publicity, even though we all know who it came from. But there were comments that were said by you in a YouTube video. And to be honest with you, before I even mention about the video, I want to give you props for not losing it. Because it sounded to me what they were trying to do was pick a fight. But pretty much, these two guys walked up to you, and they introduced themselves as the banner man. And you told them, it's guys like you that give our program a bad name, to say it in kinder words. Can you explain that? And then I want you to get into that banner over Lane Stadium. And why would it matter if we fly a banner in a visiting team? Because it doesn't matter at the end of the day. At the end, I feel that they're just going to laugh at us at the end of the day.
All right, going back to the Cincinnati game, first of all, the video that they put on YouTube was heavily edited. I eventually did lose it. And, and I want to say this one thing, man, because, I believe in being fair. The kid Danny, Raider, I think they call him, the one, not the moron holding the camera.
The other one.
The one that paid for the banner, the kid that went to Columbus, the kid that does attend games. In all fairness, his approach is flawed. His, the way he's going about this is wrong and embarrassing to the fan base. But, I think that, his heart, his meaning is in the right place. He wants what we all want. And he's unfortunately surrounded himself by a bunch of losers that are exploiting him and using him for nothing else but to get publicity. At the end of the day, these are the same people that start fake accounts. These are the same people that are underhanded and don't show their faces. These are the same people that are using these hard times at the University of Miami, for the purpose of being media whores and attention whores. What I told them basically is that this is an embarrassment. And, it's a useless embarrassment. They'd be better off donating their money to UNICEF, to fight Ebola, to help the homeless and hungry here in the city, writing a check to the athletic department to improve, whatever conditions, even though the athletic department's doing pretty good. I think they made $75 million last year, even with the issue of not being not winning like we're used to. So, nobody's going to, Al Golden is here, and Al Golden is not going anywhere. Basically, what my answers were to their question is that, if you go back to Larry Coker, Larry Coker was the head coach. Larry Coker was ultimately responsible, and the buck stopped with him and all that. But Larry Coker fired Arquijo. Was that not Larry Coker's offensive line? Al Golden's guilty of loyalty to a flawed scheme and to a bad defensive coordinator, and it's cost us all. And, if Al Golden doesn't change direction and get rid of this terrible defense and get rid of a bad defensive coordinator that is not well liked or respected within and inside the university and outside of in the fan community, Al Golden will pay the ultimate price. It'll come. Nobody's going to accept 8 wins, 9 wins, barely making the Coastal, not winning the Coastals, being out of the national picture, not being relevant in the landscape for much longer. We know that. Flying a plane over a stadium, even, at the home stadium, it's embarrassing because, it's a slap to the fan base. First of all, thank God that they flew it on a day that nobody was out there. Nobody saw it. They threw away their money.
Yeah, that's right.
Like 3 people were out there when the plane flew over, and the plane flew, oh, wow, the plane, and then we got back to partying and having a good time.
Right.
But flying it at an away game, is spitting in the face of the program. It's embarrassing on a whole new level, and, it gives the country and whoever's watching the impression that these guys are the University of Miami fan base, and nothing could be further from the truth. This is a small sect of irrational, Nazi-like, quote-unquote diehards, and they think that dumping on the program, wishing the firing of head coaches, and making a spectacle out of themselves and the fan base is being diehard. And, I submit to you that diehard are the guys that get up at 4 a.m. for noon games, go out and pick up the food, get the kegs at the gates, and, drive inside, set up, and party like it's a national championship game in, game out, win, lose, or draw. And that's not that you're co-signing on losing. You're not co-signing on bad coaching. I've made it, very, very public, and I've been very vocal, and I've made my, complaints, known to Al and to the AD that my desire is to see Mark D'Onofrio gone. My wish is to see a new defensive coordinator hired, and that man be allowed to install a new defense and scheme and work that defense around the talent that we have. Do I want Al fired? Absolutely not. I think Al is a hell of a guy, has been the face of this program through some of its roughest and toughest times in the last 3 years. I think he handled it with class and dignity, and I know that Al Golden can win here. Al just, again, the mistake is that he's loyal to his friend, and he's loyal to a flawed mentality and philosophy on defense. You don't throw away the baby with the bathwater. Every coach we've had here, from the get-go, Butch, got rid of his defensive coordinator, and then he set it up to win for years, and it became, the dynasty was reborn after the Pell Grant probation. Larry Coker was allowed to fire legends. Arquijo and Don Solinger, had been here through the best of times, and Larry Coker dismissed them like they were nothing. Randy Shannon, I believe, had 2 defensive coordinators and 3 offensive coordinators. You know what I mean? And I think Al, it has come, has had that come to Jesus moment, and I think that that's going to happen at the end of the season. Things aren't always going to happen like we want them. things, people want Mark D'Onofrio to be dismissed on the field, at midfield, and fired, and embarrassed, and ashamed, and, basically tarred and feathered. That's not going to happen. Mark D'Onofrio is going to quietly find another job, and the University of Miami is going to put out a soft statement, and then they're going to go on a coaching search that I believe, will either result in the hiring back of Michael Barrow at defensive coordinator, and if Mike, is still, with the issues of his mom, God bless her, and dealing with his family issues, then, they'll go out and get a good defensive coordinator.
Bro, it's hard to stop you. You're full of so much great information. Like, you just kept on going with that. Well, going with D'Onofrio, moving forward into Virginia Tech, this is a very bad team that we're going to be playing at Virginia Tech. Believe it or not, they beat Ohio State. So, how bad could they be? But their defense is pretty poor. They're going to just stick to their bread and butter, and they're going to stick to running the ball. They have big offensive line, and it's going to be a good running team. And they're supposed to get their beast freshman running back back this week to run against us. We've seen D'Onofrio being hard-headed, running zone and on short yardage downs. So we're gonna kind of see if he's gonna finally decide to adjust to it. We saw a little different of an attitude against Cincinnati, but it's Cincinnati. So where can you go with that? We should be winning this game, but if the defense lets us down again, I don't know how great our offense is gonna be able to go ahead and sustain with them throughout the whole entire game.
I'm a big fan of James Coley and what he's doing. I'm a huge fan of James and Al finding, our quarterback after years and years of searching for one, and, wasted talent here. I've always said publicly that I thought Jacory would have been head and tails better than what he was, having, if he would have been forced to compete and treated like any player should be. And he, earning the job instead of just being, handed to him Saturday in, Saturday out. And we saw that the last year of Jed Fish here with Jacory. Jacory had one of his best years. Same thing with Stephen Morris under Jed Fish, and I think James Coley is genius in having brought Mr. Kaya here and in the development of Brad Kaya, even though they were very conservative that first Louisville game, and if they would have called that game like they've called the other ones, I think, we would have had a much better chance to win that game. That said, I think, I think that counting on the defense is dangerous at best. I think, the offense needs to go out there and score often, and, get third down, conversions and do what they can do. Run that ball. We saw Pitt's no powerhouse, but they ran that ball down Virginia Tech's throat. A lot of Joseph Yearby, a lot of Duke Johnson, a lot of the bus, and, those good receivers, and that tight end play is pivotal, and the offense has to go out and establish itself early and score often, man. It's hard. It's hard for me to have any kind of confidence in Mark D'Onofrio and the defense, even with the talent on defense. Because we have talent on defense. That no talent argument is wasted on me. I don't want to hear that crap because we got kids that were wanted by all the top programs in the country, and if we're not making the best use of them and we're not putting them in a position to win, that's not their fault.
No, we have the talent. They're just not being developed, and they're not being put in the right places to be able to show that talent. Laz, bro, I love you. Thank you for giving us time here on the show.
Man, you don't ever have to thank me, Frankie. You're a brother to me, and an integral and pivotal part of Canes fam and everything that you do. Just so the audience knows, we're going to be doing a show coming on Fridays now on 880 The Biz AM, and you will be my producer. And it's going to be heavy Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, and yeah, for you fish fans, we're going to talk a little fish. What can I say, bro? What you do is important, especially at a time when there's so many haters and detractors out there, against our program and the team that we love. At the end of the day, bro, the real fan shows, the real fan supports, and that doesn't mean that you co-sign on this losing. That means that you make your displeasure known, but you still don't stop going to games, and you certainly don't sign off on offending and embarrassing a storied dynasty like the University of Miami by donating to banners. I just want to say this: those guys that are supposedly donating to the banner, it's just a couple of guys putting fake names on a GoFundMe. The money's coming out of daddy and the money they get from their parents and crap like that, because a lot of these guys are rich, entitled little fuckboys. Oh, was I supposed to say that?
Nope.
Yeah, well, you might want to bleep that one. Anyway, go Canes. I'll never pick the University of Miami to lose, against this bad Virginia Tech team like this. So I'm going to go out there and say Miami 38, Virginia Tech 31. And I hope they don't embarrass me and let me down. It's a pivotal game, an ACC game, and, everything worked out for us this weekend. And we need to take advantage of that situation and make a case that to try to get into the Coastal.
Got it, bro. Thank you, man. We'll talk later.
Love you guys. Go Kings.
All right, man. That's Cutler Ridge Labs there. Great job by Cutler Ridge Labs. A lot of great information. We're going to go ahead and cut a little early. This is the Frank Fernandez Show, 954-990-0036. Get in here. On the other side, we'll talk whatever you guys want to talk about. We're going to bring up the first college football playoff poll. Will be coming out next week. So next week when we do a show, we'll see the top 4 teams in the eyes of this committee that's going to be making this decision at the end of the season. So this is The Asylum on SoFloRadio.com. We'll be back.
From high atop 1926 Hollywood Boulevard, you're listening to SoFloRadio.com.
Here's the latest ratings you asked for.
What is this? Where did all our listeners go?
SoFloRadio.com.
SoFlo, what channel is that on?
It's online, sir. It's Wi-Fi radio.
Oh, I see.
But what channel is it on?
Put your business on the leading edge of media advertising with the SoFloRadio.com network. Unlike antiquated AM or FM radio, your professionally produced 30 or 60-second ad will be heard live on SoFloRadio.com during the day and will be downloaded thousands of times a day on SoFloRadio.com, as well as being heard on our free podcasts on iTunes. Wi-Fi radio and Bluetooth are now available with BMW, Ford, GM Cars and Trucks. Don't get left behind. Contact SoFloRadio.com for details and our very affordable rates. SoFloRadio.com. Stay ahead of the game.
SoFloRadio.com is the exclusive radio home of the Fort Lauderdale Strikers Football Club. Listen for every corner kick, penalty kick, save, and goal on SoFloRadio.com.
To Anderson, the save by whoa, the save by Gorick, but the putback by Darnell King, and the Strikers are up 2-0.
Silverman on sports host Bruce Silverman brings you the play-by-play.
SoFloRadio.com, bringing you every Striker home game.
Starting live at 7:30. SoFlo Radio. Talk, music, sports. SoFloRadio.com.
Say, remember when radio was fun?
Now it's dead.
Because deregulation has allowed one massive corporation to spread its tentacles like a giant octopus, absorbing radio stations around the globe. And that's why you hear this.
SoFlo Radio will stand and fight the corporate monolith. SoFloRadio.com. SoFloRadio.com.
Now, back to the Frank Fernandez Show.
Hi, I'm looking for Ray Finkel. And a clean pair of shorts.
On SoFloRadio.com.
Soccer style kicker, graduated from Collier High, June 1976. Stetson University honors graduate, class of 1980. Holds 2 NCAA Division I records, one for most points in a season, one for distance. Former nicknamed the Mule, the first and only pro athlete ever to come out of Collier County, and one hell of a model American.
Yeah, I'm the only one to get the job done. I don't know no one that could cover for me. Yeah, got some game from my day. So she might say she love me, she don't love me like she say she love me. Believe me.
Frank Fernandez Show live here on SoFloRadio.com. 954-990-0036. If you want to get up in here, go ahead and call right now. We're going to talk whatever you guys want to talk about. New show, new time. I used to be on Wednesdays from 6 to 7. Now on Tuesdays from 5 to 6. It's a pretty good slot time. We got Owen Frank Noodles after this, so stay tuned here on SoFlo Radio. Keep it locked. We're going to go into the phone lines because we got a caller. So we're going to go ahead and welcome him the way we welcome callers here on the show. So, caller, Welcome to the asylum. What's going on? Who's this?
What's up, this Chi-Town, man?
Oh, Chi-Town, man. We haven't heard from you in a little while. How you been, bro?
Yeah, man, my bad, man. Gotta give props to I've been doing the rounds today, man. All week, man. You know, fucking Dolphins won, man. You know what I'm saying? But gotta give them props, bro. They beat my Bears, bro. Hey, salute to everybody in Miami, man. You know, everybody I ragged out here in Miami, hey, much love. You can give it to me all day, man, because I'm down. But I just want to give a little rant about Jay Cutler. Just not an end to it. You know what it says, Jay Cutler with the end, but that's how we feel. Go Bulls. Hey, have a good show. Man,
Bro,
glad to hear you again, boy.
Good job, Chi-Town, Brian. You're the man. I heard you earlier on the shows. I heard you on the other shows, and you know what? You're not gonna get no crap from me because I am the Bears fan. So I'm gonna go ahead.
Man,
That's why I said attaboy, because you did your thing today, man. I respect that.
Yeah, man, Jay Cutler, man, I don't know, bro. This guy is a bum, bro. I don't know what's going on with him, bro. One day he wants to grow something, the other days, I don't know, man. But have a go. Let's see what the Bulls do, man. Coming through. Great show. Man, now I know you got a new time and stuff, man. I'm beat down, bro. Have a good one, bro.
All right, Chi-Town. Thanks a lot. Good looking out, bro. That's one of our loyal listeners, man. We haven't heard from him in a little while, so it was good to hear from him back here on the show. But we talked about it earlier on the show, man. Jay Cutler, dude, it's like McCown did a lot more with these guys than what Jay Cutler's been doing. Like, it's kind of frustrating as a Bears fan, dude. I'm telling you. And it's not surprising to hear comments like, we didn't talk about this earlier, but it's not surprising to hear comments that the Bears are shouting at each other in the locker room. Like, I think it was even Brandon Marshall reported that he screamed out to Robbie Gould, "You just kicked the ball." So like, it's like saying like, "Yo, stay out of this. Do your job if you can do your job." He's been doing his job, so. I mean, Marshall just hasn't been getting the ball thrown to him. The first 2 games, every pass was thrown to him. But then again, hold on a minute. Let's be fair. It looked like Jay Cutler, every single pass was looking at Marshall first. So let's go back to Cortland Finnegan and to Brent Grimes because they locked them down.
Yes, they did.
They did. I said it if that's what happened, I'm gonna man up to it.
Jay Cutler is going to look at Brandon Marshall, number one. I mean, unless the play is dedicated for Matt Forte, he is going to always look at Brandon Marshall first. I mean, unless Alshon Jeffrey is going just straight out for a bomb. But, again, you still need to look at Brandon Marshall to at least draw the defender over there.
Well, you got either of those 2 guys because they're both not even the push-up, but it kind of worked. They're kind of like the same guy. They're the same height, same kind of receiver. They both catch the ball with their hands very well.
Exactly. I think Jeffrey is a little bit faster, and I think that's why he gets to go routes more often. But
bro, Marshall's a beast, though, man.
They're both beasts.
Dude,
they really are.
Marshall's a beast. Like, on one of the interceptions, Marshall tracked down. It was a fumble, actually. Marshall tracked him down and was the one to catch him.
Yeah.
Like, that dude's a beast.
Yeah, and I know for a fact that he hated losing to the Dolphins.
Of course he did, man.
We really didn't treat him kindly, but he wasn't the right person for the right job.
He wasn't necessarily that superstar that was making all these great catches when he was down here because he had butterfingers. He was dropsy, right? That's the right word.
As soon as he gets to Chicago, it's just like Hanley Ramirez. Gets to a different place, new attitude, new uniform. He just outperformed.
Well, the word is that the Dodgers are done with him. Like he's not very liked in Los Angeles out there. That's what I'm being told. That he's not producing for what they're paying for it.
Oh, no. They definitely didn't get their dollars worth.
Oh, no, they didn't.
I mean, he did step up his game. He was a better player over there. Because for us, he fell apart. Those last 2 seasons,
he had that beef with Freddie Gonzalez, bro. Like,
he was just
you remember when he went to go get that ball in left field and ended up kicking it another 20, 30 feet?
And then jogged to catch it.
And then jogged to grab it. Like, he was already a baby. Like, it wasn't until we stacked the team around him that he started those maybe kind of show the potential that he had the first couple months with that team, and then all of a sudden he wanted to get traded, and he was a little, not say a better word, a little bitch about it.
Yeah, no, well, that was unfortunately nothing worked out for him, and it definitely wasn't all the blame on him because we had a stacked team. The whole team was getting blamed. It wasn't just Hanley, but it was Hanley ruining the locker room. You have to get rid of the disease.
954-990-0036. We went into the break talking about that college football poll, so
we'll get back to that, I guess.
No, I mean it's coming out next week. I was trying to kill time and bring up the stuff at the same time, but it comes out next week, so we're finally gonna start seeing what the committee, how the committee feels about the best teams in college football. Because remember, it's not gonna this committee. It's I think it's 10 to 13 people. It's one of those numbers.
Yeah.
And they're gonna decide who they think as a committee are the best 4 teams. So it doesn't matter if you're ranked 1 through 4. If the committee thinks that you're being overranked, they're not gonna go ahead and put you in there. One of the teams, they're gonna be in there, but I'm gonna sound like such a homer for saying this, but whatever. Here's the risk. One of the teams that's in there, and to be honest with you, is not as good as advertised. And the only reason why they're hanging on right now is because they're undefeated, is FSU. And I'm gonna sound like the biggest homer for saying it, but they're not as good as they were last year. They can't run the ball the way that they were running the ball last year. If it wasn't for Jameis Winston, that team would have already lost probably 3 games. And they got very lucky against Clemson, that Clemson wasn't able to capitalize with the opportunities that they were given. They're lucky that Jameis Winston is an absolute baller. Okay, let's put all the crap and all his attitude and knuckleheadness aside. The dude is a baller. If I didn't have Kaya, I'd be pleading that Jameis would be my quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. No, you want Jameis Winston as your quarterback. But at the same time, hey, FSU deserves to be in there until they lose.
Until they lose. And that's the only thing that's holding them up right now.
They deserve to be in there until they lose. Not only does everybody in the top 25 looks beatable, everybody does. I guarantee by the end of the year, nobody's going to be undefeated.
Well, they still have them at number 2. So it's Mississippi State number 1, Florida State 2, Ole Miss 3, Alabama 4. Then you have, that's why I'm saying it's not about the best teams, because Alabama doesn't even look as good as they've looked the last couple years.
They're still ranked pretty decent.
They need help quarterback. That's what's kind of holding them back right now. They went from a great quarterback in A.J. McCarron to now a not-so-good quarterback, and I don't know his name, so I don't care.
And a mediocre run game. And with Alabama's a ground and pound game, so if their run game isn't working, their pass game definitely isn't working. But they're mediocre. They still have Nick Saban, and that's what keeps them in the top 10.
Then you have teams like Auburn, Oregon, Notre Dame, Michigan State. I mean, Notre Dame only dropped from 5 to 7 after losing to FSU, and that call can go either way. You can go saying that it wasn't a legal pick, or you can kind of make arguments against it. Regardless whether it was a penalty or not, I don't think Notre Dame should have gone to something like that, because it's not like the quarterback. It's not like the referee actually took his time to throw the flag. As soon as it happened, before the ball was even in Robinson's hands that made the catch, the flag was already on the ground. So it was a pick right from the start. But to me, it looked more like FSU's secondary was kind of confused on what was going on with the bunch formation, that the man that was being picked didn't fight the pick off, or didn't fight the coverage of the hold off to try to get to the receiver. He kind of just let it sit. So they were kind of, I agree with Chip Kelly, they were kind of bailed out of a bad coverage, because that's what it was at the end of the day.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what it turned out.
And there's an internet clip going out there of these 2 FSU fans that were candid camera recorded by his wife, and they were absolutely pissed off. After like 15 seconds, they realize the flag is on the ground. They call the penalty, and they keep shouting, they bought it. They bought it. Oh my God, I can't believe the referee bought it. They were scared out of their mind, and that's the one thing about FSU fans this year. They're watching this game with a roll of toilet paper sitting right next to them on the table, because at any moment they're just about to crap their pants.
Mm-hmm. And then oh my God, we're not undefeated anymore.
So next week when we come in on Tuesday, we're going to know who's right now in the playoff eye. Remember, this is going to be a poll that comes out week to week, just like the whole BCS nonsense. Mm-hmm. It's going to come out week to week, so it can adjust who's going to be in the playoff format and who's not going to be in the playoff format.
Yeah, we're a little too far out to guarantee anything.
We're going to go back out to the phone line, so we're going to go ahead, if I find the button, because I can never find it. There it is. Knock, knock. Who's knocking on the asylum door?
Yo, Frankie, it's Steven. What's up, man?
Yo, Steve, what's up, bro?
Not much. Just excited about that college football playoff. Actually, just want to let you know some things. They're actually going to reveal a top 25, not a top 4.
Okay.
So
we're
going to go 1 through 25 for the purposes of the other bowls.
See, that's how we have Steven around. So pretty much what they're doing, they're setting up the top 4, and then they're kind of letting 5, 6, and 7 know that they're right on the brink of it, that they're going to be the ones that they're looking at next.
Right. That's correct.
You know what?
So 5, 6,
love this whole playoff format. From the way they're selecting the playoffs, from the way the games are going to be played, I mean, I think it's great. Eventually, maybe we're going to see them go to 8 games, but I think it's great because they do have, this is going to be a normal bowl game, and then you win that bowl game, you're going to advance to the next bowl game, which is pretty cool.
Another thing that people forget to mention is that there is home field advantage. Each seed, the 1 and the 2, are going to play in the bowl closer to their school.
Very cool.
So if you're UCLA, guess what? Your home field is one of the bowls.
Very cool.
The same thing goes for our Miami Hurricanes. So
that's actually a very cool thing that I didn't know about that, bro. Hey, the losing team does not play an extra bowl, right? That's it. That was their bowl opportunity.
The losing team is out of the playoff if they're in the semifinal. If that's what you're getting at?
Meaning the 2 losing teams don't play an extra bowl game, right?
Right. They're done for the year.
Okay,
if they
so it's
lose.
1 and out. That's it. 1 and out. Okay, no, that's great. That's great information, Steven. I thank you very much for filling us in on that because, to be honest with you, I had no idea. But to always, Steven Posada to the rescue.
So, yes, now the certain teams that play in certain stadiums, just like the old days, have a bowl advantage again. Miami is one of those teams.
Absolutely. Steven, bro, thank you like always, bro. We're going to have to let you go because, to be honest with you, we got about 3 minutes left of showtime here.
Sure thing, man.
All right, bro. That's Steven Posada. Usually here I'm at the second segment of the Asylum, but he had some things to do today, so he wasn't able to join us. But thank you very much for listening in and for giving the 2 cents, I guess. You know what I mean? Because he did help us out at the end of the day.
His insight.
Always insightful. Always very, very, very insightful. But yeah, bro, that's pretty much it, man. I mean, that's the way we're gonna roll around here. You know, and just like that, the hour flies right by. You got O and Noodles walking in. They're about to line up for a 2-hour show right now here on SoFloRadio.com. But it was a good show. We had Laz come in. Steven came in. We had
No, we had the Laz takeover.
Yeah, the Laz takeover. But bro, he had so much good things to say that it was hard to stop him overall. You know.
No, definitely. A lot of information.
This is the Frank Fernandez Show live here on SoFloRadio.com. Remember the new time, new day. We are from now on Tuesdays from 5 to 6 instead of Wednesdays from 6 to 7. I said that right. I thought I was going to fumble it. David's going to be here each and every week. David has a good time doing this. Oh, wait, I forgot. It's not David. It's DP. It's DP from now on. But yeah,
I knew you'd forget that.
No, I'm not going to forget, man. That's going to be every single time. And eventually we're going to have somebody that's going to ask us in person, what does that mean? And I'm going to have to put you out there. But I'm not going to put you out there like that in front of all our listeners.
Why not?
One day. I see O laughing. I have a feeling he's going to ask you what your middle name is as soon as the show's over. I see it coming, bro. Thank you for everyone who made us a part of your day. We're going to be back next week, 5 o'clock on Tuesday. Remember, put that on your calendar. Not really.
Why not?
Why not, right? Sorry, David. No more hump day.
No hump day.
Bye-bye. I still got that one, though.
That's not the same.
We'll talk to you next week. We don't wave. We don't clap. We throw up the U. Good night, South Florida.
Here's the latest ratings you asked for.
What is this? Where did all our listeners go?
SoFloRadio.com.
SoFlo, what channel is that on?
It's online, sir. Wi-Fi radio.
Oh, I see.
But what channel is it on?
Put your business on the leading edge of media advertising with the SoFloRadio.com network. Unlike antiquated AM or FM radio, your professionally produced 30 or 60-second ad will be heard live on SoFloRadio.com during the day and will be downloaded thousands of times a day on SoFloRadio.com, as well as being heard on our free podcasts on iTunes. Wi-Fi radio and Bluetooth are now available with BMW, Ford, GM Cars and Trucks. Don't get left behind. Contact SoFloRadio.com for details and our very affordable rates. SoFloRadio.com. Stay ahead of the game.
SoFloRadio.com is the exclusive radio home of the Fort Lauderdale Strikers Football Club. Listen for every corner kick, penalty kick, save, and goal on SoFloRadio.com.
To Anderson, the save by the save by Gorick, but the putback by Darnell King, and the Strikers are up 2-0.
Silverman on Sports host Bruce Silverman brings you the play-by-play.
SoFloRadio.com, bringing you every Striker home game.
Starting live at 7:30.
SoFlo Radio. 1926 Music Sports.
SoFloRadio.com.
Say, remember when radio was fun?
Now it's dead.
Because deregulation has allowed one massive corporation to spread its tentacles like a giant octopus, absorbing radio stations around the globe. And that's why you hear this.
SoFlo Radio will stand and fight the corporate monolith. SoFloRadio.com. SoFloRadio.com. By the Glass.
By the Glass is a show about beverage culture.
Brad Hubbard.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the dots on how everything works together. It's really all about how we enjoy things, how we enjoy life, and how beverages play a big part in that. I'm going to bring in people that are going to display their aspect of the culture. I'm going to bring in people that are going to show you different products. We're going to look at places where people go to consume these beverages and how they all interact. Things are built around the actual beverage itself.
By the Glass. Thursdays from 6 to 7. Only on SoFloRadio.com. Hi, this is Boca. You know the Green Lantern, he got his power from a ring. Well, every time I listen to Luis on the Powwow, I always try it with calamari.
All systems are functional.
And get past the range to Mr. Jackal, the new king of radio.
Is there life on other planets?
This is nuclear physicist Stanton Friedman, and now I'm a voice in the Jackal's head.
Is the government keeping secrets from us?
This is Stephen Bassett, and I am now a voice inside the Jackal's head.
Want to find out more? Listen to the Jackal's Head on the Super Media Network.
The biggest trick the Jackal ever pulled was to convince the world that he doesn't exist.
The Owen Frank Noodle Show.
So how do people actually do it, males, in the region?
Nah, see, I don't.
Dude, that's if you say you had that much pain on your arm and legs, that's unacceptable. At that point, something's going on.
I don't go to that level though. I trim with a little machine, bro. You know
little buzzer?
Little buzzer. You buzz down there, a little manscape, and we're good to go. Hey, bro, you got a manscape nowadays. No chick wants to go down there and, you know what I'm saying, feel hairs.
No, that's terrible.
That's
and
terrible.
neither do we, so you got, it goes both ways, right?
It goes both ways, brother. You know what I'm saying? Some chicks go down there, you got hair, and they're like, whoa, wait, let me come back up.
Hold on, cowboy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The Owen Frank Noodle Show. Tuesday evenings from 6 to 8 p.m. only on SoFloRadio.com. The Amigo Show with Larry Million.
Yeah, I said it. Michael Jordan was the biggest thing in the NBA. LeBron is the biggest thing in the NBA. Same type of star. I'm not going to argue who's better today. And you look at that, right, Frank? And I remember Jordan. Like, I rooted against Jordan. You know why I rooted against Jordan? Whoa! My voice went soprano. Oh my goodness.
No, what I meant to say was when do you know why I root against?
You have failed.
That's what I was trying to say.
The Amigo Show, Saturday mornings from 9 to noon only on SoFloRadio.com.
From high atop 1926 Hollywood Boulevard, you're listening to SoFloRadio.com.
Say, Jill. It's the champagne.
It's time for the Owen Frank Noodle Show. You can reach the show 954-990-0036. You can reach the show on Twitter at ON Noodle Show or at HalfMoon20. It's time for the Owen Frank Noodle Show on SoFloRadio.com.
You know everything, Taylor. Don't rush to the bar, fool, if you ain't
apron. That's the rules. High as fuck, sloppy drunk when I'm passing.
The old Frank Noodle Show on SoulFlowRadio.com, and we're back after about 2 weeks off. And I kind of lost my voice this weekend, but that's all right because I'm still going to push through the show. Call us in at 954-990-0036. A lot of things going on today, Frank. Today's game 1 of the World Series between Kansas City and San Francisco. First game is in Kansas City. We'll get into that a little later because I think the first pitch is around 7 o'clock or so. But we got so many things to talk about. I mean, it's just the NFL is it's crazy. I mean, Seattle's just all over the place. They trade Percy Harvin, which I don't understand what happened there, which we know there's an issue, but like so many things are going on. The Dolphins actually look pretty good in Chicago. Running backs are getting hurt left and right. I mean, this is just crazy. The NFL is just like, it's all over the place.
Fantasy's been a disaster.
Fantasy's been a disaster. There's nobody on the waiver wire. Running backs.
Disaster.
And players that you drafted in the first and second round are just like plata.
They're dropping like flies right now.
Yeah, it's pretty bad out there. But I want to get into the Dolphin talk. I mean, obviously the Miami Dolphins are a local football team here, and they are 3-3, and they play the Jacksonville Jaguars this weekend. And I mean, we would honestly predict that they should beat Jacksonville this weekend, and they should be 4-3. And the Bills are actually playing pretty good with Kyle Orton. And obviously, New England is the cream of the crop in the division, and they're holding it on. They're holding on to their own there. And we expected New England to do well. But I've been saying that if the Dolphins can catch a little rhythm here, they got a chance to win the division.
They do. You just need for the Dolphins to see if they can play consistently. And the same goes for Tannehill. Right now, I'm not worried about whether he's going to be an amazing quarterback, a transcending talent. I just want to see right now if he can be a consistent quarterback. And for the last 3 games, you've seen 2.5 games because the first half of the Packers game was a disaster. But he played well this past week. I'm not celebrating as much as other people are because I saw the option read there, and RG3 looked good in the option read. The option read, when you don't plan for it, can catch you off guard like that. Tannehill got a bunch of yards on the ground, okay? A lot of the throws were off misdirection plays. That throw to Mike Wallace, like we spoke about out in the hallway here, was an amazing throw. That pivot route in the end zone, that was an amazing throw. But